Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the final week of Season 12 of the Lions Den Quiz League. We're back after another solid week. I finished in second place, actually, very close to first in the last week. I was fourth in week 3, I was sixth in week 2, and I was fourth in week 1. So it's been very good so far. Season standings look like this. They're not necessarily that accurate because, again, people have played 5 and I've only played 4. But Can Opener in a Can is the one to beat here, which means if I get 36, about 36 points this week, 35.99. So yes, 36 exactly would take me to first place. So we'll see if I can pull that off. It would require me to get second place, which is not going to be easy to do. But honestly, I think it might be close. We're just going to have to find out. So, quiz number 1. Anything but metric. Described as older than the Roman Empire, taller than the Statue of Liberty, and heavy as 7 blue whales, German General. General Sherman is a giant species of what type of tree? General Sherman is located in a national park near Visalia, California. It shows the name of this type of tree. General Sherman is a giant sequoia, which is a 7-letter word that contains all 5 vowels. And I said 7-letter words because for some reason right now I can't speak English, which bodes really well for the rest of this video, but I will try and enunciate as clearly as I can. Number 2, in 2022, the Daily Mail warned readers that an asteroid half the size of what genus of animal could strike just off the coast of Iceland. Confused readers pointed out that the animal chosen was easily one of the most disproportionate animals, depending on how it is halved. Romans named this animal Camelopardus, believing it to have been a cross between a camel and a leopard. It took me a sec, but I feel like giraffe makes the most sense here. Camel and leopard kind of makes sense because it's like spotted, right? But it also is almost camel-ish proportion-wise. Obviously, it has a longer neck, but I think it makes sense, like, obviously disproportionate because it's super tall. So like, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it makes more sense than any other guess that I could come up with for this. Number 3, for years, Star Wars fans were confused about what specifically named hyperspace route because in A New Hope, Han Solo declares that he completed it in 12 parsecs, a unit of distance, not time. A solution to this issue was offered in Solo when Han shortens the distance of the route by going through the maw instead of around it, decreasing the event distance from 20 to 12 parsecs. So, this is annoying because this is absolutely a thing, and if I had seen Star Wars within the last, 5 years, I would probably remember the name of this. But it's been a long time since I watched Star Wars, and I thought for a long time trying to think of the name of this thing, and I could not come up with it. This is, I'm going to facepalm when I see it because 100% it will be familiar to me, but I don't remember what it's called. I'm going to say Rainbow Road, which obviously is wrong. It's kind of a joke answer, but the thing is, it's like this is a thing that I know I've heard of, and if I can't think of the exact thing, whatever I say is not going to be the right answer anyway, so I'm just going to move on. Number 4, the incredible B-2 pilots will be coming to the White House. They hit a target the size of a circle during a U.S. bombing run on what nation in June 2025? Among the targets of this bombing run were the Fordow uranium enrichment plant and 2 other nuclear facilities. My guess here is Iran. I know that we bombed Iran. It's kind of wild that was 8 months ago already. That's insane how fast time passes, but Fordow sounds vaguely Iranian to me anyway, and I'm pretty sure this is a thing that happened in Iran, so that's got to be my answer there. 38.1 million centimeters by 38.1 million centimeters is the self-imposed limit of what file format, standardized as ISO 32000 and developed by Adobe in 1993. Technically, the dimensions of this file format are limitless, but Adobe chose to use this maximum size, approximately half the size of Germany, just in case it was needed. PDF, hopefully. I mean, I see Adobe, the first file format I associate with Adobe is PDF. If it's something else, then tough, but I just don't think I can guess anything other than PDF for this. And finally, number 6, what unit of power is equivalent to approximately 550 foot-pounds per second or 745.7 watts? You may be surprised to find out that the thing in this unit is named my gosh, I really cannot read. I don't know what's up with me right now. The thing this unit is named after actually produces somewhere between 6 and 15 of this unit because James Watt's original calculation time averaged a 10-hour output to obtain one of this unit. Because James Watt's original calculation time average a 10. Okay, that one might just be grammatically wrong because I'm a little bit lost in that sentence, but anyway, maybe I'm just tired and it's completely fine. I figure this is horsepower, right? I mean, a unit named after a thing that produces power. Like I have heard before also that horsepower doesn't actually equal one horse. So yeah, horsepower should be the answer to this. I don't know what to enhance because it feels like all the ones that I'm confident about are not hard. Um, I like. Do I go with Iran? I feel like that was such like notable current events though. PDF feels really easy. Sequoia feels really easy. Horsepower feels easy. Maybe I go for giraffe. I mean, that's not easy or that's not that hard either, but is it even right? I mean, it's like what if that's wrong? Could that be wrong? It's probably not wrong, but realistically, I feel like anything I guess here is just going to be a high get rate. So, what do I even go with here? I want to make sure that I'm actually correct. Ah, geez. I'm just gonna go with Sequoia, to be honest. I think it's if you're not from the US, I could see people not knowing this. It's not hard, but it's not like completely free either, I think. So I'm just gonna go with that. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's a very good option for enhancing here. So it's just the best that I've got. Sequoia, Giraffe, Kessel Run. Ah, God. Yeah. Completed the Kessel Run. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Again, it's like I absolutely knew I would have heard of it. But I couldn't come up with it. PDF is right, horsepower is right. I mean, it's 5 out of 6. That's not too much of a surprise. That's just what I expected to happen on that quiz, really. But that is annoying on number 3. That is quite annoying. Okay, the sequences quiz, and this is another really, really tough one. The first one, we're going kind of up to down. We have Lana Del Rey, Solange Knowles, Faye Webster, and blank. I have no idea what's going on here. I have heard of 2 of these people. I have no idea who Faye Webster is. I have no idea what Lana Del Rey and Solange Knowles have in common, other than that I think they're both singers. The second one is Beyonce's sister. So honestly, for the fourth one, I'm just going to say Beyonce. Because, I don't know, I don't have a better answer than this. I have absolutely no idea what this sequence is. What comes forth? Sergio Mattarella, Xi Jinping, and Moon Jae-in. My gosh, what is happening, dude? Why some days can you just not speak normally? Okay. Now, we have an Italian name, a Chinese name, and a Korean name. Obviously, Xi Jinping is Xi Jinping. And I have heard of Moon Jae-in before, and I think he's also like a political figure. But I don't have the slightest idea who the first guy is, which is a little concerning because I thought about this question for a while and I realized that Italy, China, Korea is the Winter Olympics going backwards. So I'm thinking these could be like heads of state or something during the Winter Olympics. However, I don't know who the first guy is because I'm pretty sure the head of state of Italy is Giorgia Meloni. So I'm a little confused by that one. Because I feel like it could be, it's probably Olympics related given what seems to be happening in the sequence. But like, I don't really know what's happening. It could be something more specific than just who's leading the country. Or it could be like presidents or something because is Giorgia Meloni, is she like technically the prime minister or something? I can never keep track of who's the president and who's the prime minister because it depends on the country. But it seems like that could be what's happening anyway. If we're going backwards in terms of Winter Olympics, which I think makes sense because it's Italy, China, South Korea, which would be 2026, 22, and 2018. 2014 Winter Olympics were in Sochi, Russia. And the best guess I have for this would be Vladimir Putin because he was in charge then and he's in charge now. And it just makes sense. He's the president of Russia. So, yeah. Hopefully it's just Vladimir Putin, but I'm still kind of confused. I mean, I'm probably going to get berated in the comments, like, how do you not know who Sergio Mattarella is? But it's like, I don't think I've ever seen that name in my life. So I'm really quite spooked by that. Because if it said Giorgia Meloni, I wouldn't be scared, but now I am scared. Number 3, rather. What comes forth? Putter, Koh-i-Noor, oldest football team in Edinburgh, blank. So this one took a little bit of noodling, but oldest football team in Edinburgh, that was the one that gave me the most trouble, actually. The Koh-i-Noor I know is a diamond, and a putter is, of course, a golf club. And I eventually made the connection that clubs and diamonds are both card suits. The Edinburgh one had me tripped up because for whatever reason I was thinking it was Glasgow or Rangers because I was misremembering and thinking they were from Edinburgh and not from Glasgow. Um, did I say Glasgow or Rangers? Celtic or Rangers? Is my brain like where is my brain right now? I don't bro. Like I went through the whole like thought processes of all this before and now that I'm here like trying to explain myself, my voice, my mouth is just not saying the things that it's supposed to be saying. I don't know what's happening. My head is like on another planet. My goodness. Putter, Koh-i-Noor, oldest football team in Edinburgh. That is a club, a diamond, and Hearts is the Scottish team because I realized that, yes, there is a Scottish football team called Hearts. They are from Edinburgh, not from Glasgow. Anyway, the last thing is spades. I don't, I mean, I feel like I can just say spades, to be honest. Like, I think it's clear enough. Whatever. I'll say trick taking card game, and then in the parentheses, I'll just spades because, like, that's what it is. Anyway, number 4, what comes forth? TV series about the Di Maio crime family, architect Alvar, who designed Finlandia Hall, slang for a 10-pound note, and blank. So slang for a 10-pound note, immediate thing I thought of was tenor. And I was trying to think what could be a sequence with tenor in it, and I realized, well, tenor is also, you know, a voice register. It's spelled differently, of course, but that still came to mind. And then I thought, hey, is the first thing just The Sopranos? Kind of spooked me because I thought the crime family in The Sopranos was called Soprano, as in like Tony Soprano, but I also have never seen the show, so maybe that's just like a pseudonym or something. But it would make sense if it's like soprano, alto, tenor. Alto could be the name of the guy. I've never heard of him, but I would believe it. So if it is soprano, alto, tenor, I'm guessing the last one is baritone. I hope it's not bass. I think baritone is a thing that comes before bass, but I'm not very good with vocal registers, so I hope that's right. And I don't know how to describe baritone other than just saying baritones for this one. I'm just going to leave it. Number 5, what comes forth? 2, Tehran. 3, Algiers. 4, Pretoria. Another one that took me a while, but I eventually realized that these are world capitals that have this number of distinct vowels within them. Tehran has E and A. Algiers has A, I, and E. Pretoria has E, O, I, A. And the only supervocalic country capital is Port-au-Prince in Haiti, which is, of course, Oauie. Finally, number 6, what comes forth here? I don't know. The first one looks like Steve Nash, but the picture's really freaking small, so I can't quite tell. Second one, I have zero clue who that is. And the third one just looks like the most generic picture of some, like, metal that I've ever seen. So I couldn't think of anything for this. I'm thinking maybe the third one could be nickel. If the third one is nickel, the last one would be penny. If the first two are quarter and dime, what does Steve Nash have to do with quarters? I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that it's not Steve Nash and that it's somebody else who maybe looks like Steve Nash. But to be honest, I have no idea. And I'm just going to give up on this one because I've thought about it for a while and I haven't come up with a thing. So I think given the difficulty of this quiz, I've hopefully done decently well because I feel good about 3 through 5 here. Unless it's base, I really hope it's not. 2 also, like, I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm just not positive that I have the right thing because of the whole Italy thing. Number 1 and number 6, I don't feel good about at all, but, you know, I'm bound to miss a question or two. So enhancing wise, I honestly think I will enhance the geography one because it's more of a wordplay one than a geography one anyway. And even if you figure out what's going on, figuring out what the last one is not trivial. So I just happen to know that Port-au-Prince is the only supervocalic capital, so that just kind of handy. So yeah, I will enhance number 5. And we will see how we do. Are there any more bridges here? I feel like there's normally more than 2, but I only see 2. Okay. Well, I did select all matching images. Does that count as a bridge? Is that really a bridge? That's like a... Isn't that just a thing that holds a street sign? I don't know, man. Any musician beginning with me. Oh, for crying out loud. Really? La, sol, fa. That's all it was. Okay, well, I feel a little dumb now. I should have just kept going with that. Okay, Vladimir Putin. Okay, so political leaders who opened the Winter Olympics. So it's specifically like who was there at like the opening ceremony or something. So that makes sense. I didn't watch the opening ceremony. I have no interest in doing that. So it makes sense. I don't know who Sergio Mattarella is. Probably is like not the like I don't know. I don't know how the political structure of Italy works, but whatever. I guess it wasn't Giorgia Meloni. But Spades was correct. Bass. Are you kidding me? Really? Dude, I knew that was going to happen. Is baritone not one of them? Am I losing my mind? I thought it went soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass. Like, I thought that was the order. I guess baritone doesn't count. I don't know why. And, oh, it's sodium. Oh my God, dude, I feel so dumb. Wait, Buenos Aires? Oh, I see. So Buenos Aires isn't super vocalic because it has the letter E twice, but it does have all five vowels, so it's acceptable. That's fair. But I got that one right. So I only got three right in the end, and I honestly feel kind of dumb for literally all of the other ones. Dude. So it is Steve Nash. The thing is, I was so stuck on the metal thing being just the name of the metal rather than the chemical symbol of it. It's so obvious in hindsight that we're just chopping and going from NASH down to NA. I mean, I don't know who Nas is. I think he's a rapper, but I mean that I wouldn't have known. But that, like, yeah, Na, of course. I mean, the other annoying thing about that is like, how am I supposed to know that that's sodium as opposed to like literally any other metal on the face of the earth? But again, I think that's a fair sequence, and I was just being silly by not realizing that we were just chopping a letter off. In hindsight, that's honestly pretty obvious. So yikes. As somebody who does a lot of this only connect stuff, I really should be better at it sometimes. But yeah, bass is annoying because I really thought baritone was one of them. And then the first one, again, solfege in reverse, that's completely gettable. But I was thinking that it had something to do with the people themselves. And I was like, I don't know anything about the people themselves. So I'm just going to give up because I don't know what this is. But I should have tried a little harder to find something there. Okay, lots of yapping. Quiz number 3 is about cooking, basically. Which beef preparation made with tenderloin and duxelles is likely named for a British general who never appears to have particularly liked or requested it? Duxelles, I think, is like a mushroom thing. But anyway, hopefully this is just beef Wellington. I mean, like the Duke of Wellington is obviously a famous British general. If it's not this, I don't know what it is. So that's what I'm going with. A noted thick cut of ribeye is named for which restaurant? America's first fine dining restaurant. It was also the first to serve lobster Newburg and eggs Benedict. Really not sure on this one. I was trying to think of cuts of beef, and I did think of porterhouse, and I don't really have any idea what that is, but porterhouse sounds like it could be a restaurant. I've never heard of it as a restaurant, but I think this at least has a chance of being correct, so this is what I'll go with. Number 3, which meringue dessert is the subject of a large debate on its origin between Australia and New Zealand? The dessert was named for a Russian ballerina who went on a tour of both countries in the 1920s. It's called Pavlova. I feel like I've just eventually like osmosis this one. I have no idea what Pavlova is. I've never seen it or seen it served anywhere, but I just know that it is a dessert that exists most prominently in Australia and New Zealand. Number 4, a temperance preacher with what surname believed that a vegetarian diet was how God intended to keep people healthy. His beliefs led him to create a dull, unsifted cracker, a modified version of which is still manufactured today by Nabisco. I don't feel great about this one, but I'm thinking it might just be graham, like a graham cracker. The thing is, I feel like I've heard the origin story of the graham cracker before, and I can't remember exactly what it was, if it was this or if it was something else. So I don't feel great about this answer, but I can't think of a better answer for like a cracker named after someone. So that's what I'm going with. Number 5, which Chinese chicken dish was named for 1800s official Ding Bao Zhen, a staple of American Chinese cuisine. A key ingredient in the dish is Sichuan peppercorns. Again, I don't think I've ever eaten this before, but I think this is just General Tso's chicken, unless it's like Kung Pao chicken or something. But like 1800s official sounds like a general to me, so just seems like the best guess. And this definitely is very common in American Chinese food. Finally, number 6, Ignacio Anaya, a Mexican maître Where's the rest of the word? Is this like an actual shortening that people use, like maître de? Like what it's so weird that like I don't know how are you even supposed to pronounce that anyway. Created which Tex-Mex staple in the 1943? The dish named for his nickname today is made with a variety of toppings, ranging from olives to chili con carne. I want to say this is just nachos. I mean, nacho I think is definitely a nickname for the wording for the name Ignacio. And nachos, I mean, toppings. I'm trying to think what's a Mexican food like dish that you put toppings on. Like nachos makes perfect sense for that too. So I think that is just what's happening here. I guess I don't necessarily associate nachos with Tex-Mex. The more I think about it, the more it kind of just makes sense. And then I don't really know what to enhance here either, honestly. Like Wellington feels easy. Pavlova feels easy because if I have no idea what it is and I can still answer the question, I think it's too easy for me to enhance. Um, I don't feel great about Graham, so I don't want to enhance that. Number two, I don't feel good about either. Honestly, I might go with number five because I feel like maybe if you're outside of the US, you might not know what that is, but I might just be wrong about that. Like maybe six is harder. Is six harder? Do people know that Nacho means Ignacio? Maybe that's better actually, because I feel like people might. I don't know. You could say like chimichangas or tamales, or I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things you could say for this, but I mean, nacho. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like General Tso's chicken is so well known. I got to go with number six. I hope it is nachos, but I feel like it has to be. So let's see. Beef Wellington, Delmonico's, never getting that in my life. Pavlova, Graham, it is Kung Pao. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't enhance that one. Holy crap. How do you not say General So there? That's crazy. That's wow. I guess maybe it's the peppercorn thing. Like, I don't, again, I've never eaten General Tso's chicken. I don't know what's in it. I guess it doesn't have peppercorns in it. Um, Holy moly. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of Chinese food, so I guess maybe I should be more familiar with what specific things are in these dishes, but wow. Okay. Well, nachos was right, so I sure am glad I switched because I was very close to enhancing number five. But it's 4 out of 6. It's not that bad. Delmonico's I've heard of. I'm never gonna pull that though. And yeah. Okay. Honestly, decent result, but probably should have had Kung Pao. Number four. This is all pictures of things, I guess. Well, people are redacted. Number one, name this leader who is not typically associated with sports. Congratulating Captain Francois Pienaar after the team won the 1995 Rugby World Cup. He made a statement about reconciliation by appearing with the winning nation's jersey. Not super sure, but I kind of want to just say this is Nelson Mandela. I mean, Pienaar, I think there's a soccer player with that name who's South African. Anyway, I associate that name with South Africa. I mean, it kind of sounds sort of like Afrikaans anyway. So I think it would work. 1995 seems about right. South Africa winning the Rugby World Cup also seems about right. So yeah, I'm going to go with Mandela. Number two, name this musical royalty. The performance pictured below is often cited as one of the best in history of this specific yearly event, appropriately taking place during a literal downpour. I'm thinking this is Prince. I mean, royalty. I'm like, is it Prince? Is it Lord? Is it like King or Queen? Something. But the stage is purple, appropriately during a downpour. Therefore, Purple Rain is my thought here, and it's probably like a Super Bowl halftime show, would be my guess. I'm not familiar with this particular thing, but I think it makes perfect sense. Number three, name this individual. One of the most retweeted pictures in history. The blacked out person behind the photo has in recent years seen a significant decline in popularity due to controversial behavior. I have seen this photo plenty of times because it's quite famous, and I'm pretty darn sure that Ellen DeGeneres is in the photo. And person who has seen a significant decline in popularity definitely sounds like Ellen DeGeneres to me. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the answer here, hopefully, unless I'm misremembering who is in the photo. Number four, name this individual at the time of the photo, probably very traumatized from events earlier that same day. This is presumably, I mean, that's Lyndon B. Johnson being sworn in as president of the U.S. after JFK was assassinated. So, the individual, I'm guessing, is going to be Jackie Kennedy. Number five, name this individual demonstrating their health and vigor with a reportedly 15-kilometer long swim in the river. I don't know what the heck is going on here. I'm thinking it could be like, I don't know. I mean, the people in the water, like, they look Asian, and it's like clearly kind of an old photograph, but like, beyond that, I don't really have any idea. My guess that came to mind was Ho Chi Minh, but like, I don't know. Is there a picture of Ho Chi Minh swimming? Like, maybe. To be honest, I feel like there's some kind of reference or something that I'm just supposed to be getting here, but I have never seen this in my life, so I really don't know what to do with it. Finally, question 6 wouldn't be a season of LDQL without a K-pop question. Now, would it? Give the stage name of this individual. Although derived from their birth name, the stage name could also be used to describe products created from produce of the Sanso and Garnacha varieties. To be quite honest with you, I can name exactly one K-pop female singer, and it's Rose. I can't do the accent on this computer, but you know, the one who sings the like Apata song with Bruno Mars or whatever. But honestly, I feel like this could be right because like these sound like they could be varieties of grapes. So product created from grapes might be like a rose wine. So I think I maybe got lucky that it just asked about the one female K-pop artist I could name, but it could also be anything else. I'm not actually sure. And then, yeah, what do I want to enhance here? I think I might enhance Ellen DeGeneres, to be honest. I feel like Prince is pretty gettable from all the clues. Mandela feels kind of straightforward. Jackie Kennedy, again, it's clearly LBJ. And then the rest, I don't feel confident enough about these ones to enhance them. So, yeah, let's try Ellen DeGeneres. And let's see. Nelson Mandela, Prince, good. Ellen DeGeneres, Jackie Kennedy, Mao Zedong, and Rose. Let's go. Nice. Okay, 5 out of 6. We take those. Mao Zedong, I was on the right track. I mean, it was Asia, and it was that kind of time period. Yeah, maybe it would have made more sense. I don't know. Ho Chi Minh was the first one that came to mind, and I just was like, yeah, I'll stick with this because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that also makes sense. So fair enough. But honestly, 5 out of 6, fine by me. Quiz 5. This is history. Who delivered the warning, "It is us today, it will be you tomorrow," to the League of Nations on June 30th, 1936, due to the Italian annexation of his nation just 2 months prior? First, I was thinking this was in Europe because, I don't know, it just makes sense that Italy would annex something near it. But I couldn't think of anything that made any sense, and then I started broadening my search, and I realized, wait, the Italians did have a presence in Africa. I do think that they annexed, or at least certainly had a presence in Ethiopia, or you know, the Horn of Africa in general. But like, if it's a person, I mean, I feel like I have to say Haile Selassie because I can't name another like leader from around there from around that time. I don't think anything else would make much sense. So this might just be a European person. I'm completely off base, but if we are talking about East Africa, then I have to say Haile Selassie. Number 2, according to the Spanish, whose final words were, "I confide to your care, my beloved children, the most precious jewels I can leave you. The great monarch beyond the ocean will interest himself to see that they come into their inheritance if you present before him their just claims. I know your master will do this, if for no other reason than for the kindness I have shown the Spaniards, though it has occasioned my ruin. For all my misfortunes, Malinche, I bear you no ill will." So Malinche is the biggest clue here. La Malinche was the informant. She was like the Aztec informant to the Spaniards, who I think she was a translator for Cortez. But I mean, we're in Aztec land here, so I feel like this is kind of the only reasonable guess. Again, like, Moctezuma was just the last, whatever the word is, Tlatoani of the Aztecs. So I don't know who else it would be. And he's talking to Malinche, and he's clearly speaking of the Spaniards as foreign people. So it's not a Spaniard himself, so it's not going to be like Cortez or something. So yeah, I think it should just be Moctezuma, unless I'm completely off base. Number 3, what event did U.S. President Ronald Reagan commemorate in a speech concluding with, "They honored us by the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them, this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God." So people leaving Earth and then dying sounds like the Challenger to me. Challenger disaster. There's also the Columbia, but that happened in like 2003, I think. So Challenger makes much more sense for Ronald Reagan, being the 1980s. So yeah, should be the Challenger. again, unless I'm completely off base. Number 4, aut viam inveniam aut faciam, I will find a way or make one, is traditionally attributed to which general? This historical figure apparently issued this statement to his own advising generals after they had told him pachyderms and mountains do not mix. Pachyderms plus mountains equals elephants in the Alps equals Hannibal. Famously crossed the Alps with elephants. Number 5, more weight are the generally attributed last words of Giles Corey, one of 20 people executed during what late 17th century moral panic centered around the towns of Danvers, Andover, and Topsfield, Massachusetts. Corey is notable because, while the other 19 condemned were hanged, he was executed via the torture method known as peine forte et dure, or pressing. So yeah, Giles Corey, very interesting figure, worth reading up about if you haven't. But this is the Salem witch trials. And finally, number 6, on January 17th, 1912, which devastated explorer wrote in his diary, "The worst has happened. All the daydreams must go. Great God, this is an awful place." After having been beaten to his goal by nearly 5 weeks, he would complete the next day's entry with, "Now for the run home in a desperate struggle. I wonder if we can do it," only for him and his team to succumb to their journey approximately a month later. My thought here is that this is like Shackleton. He was an Antarctic explorer who notably died down there. I don't really know the story very well, to be honest, but I think we're doing like South Pole Antarctic stuff here, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's Arctic or something else, but I don't know. I'm thinking it's either like Shackleton or Amundsen or Scott or Peary or whatever. There's a bunch of names. I can never remember who's who. Ross is another one, but I want to say it's Shackleton because he definitely died there. And the other ones, like Amundsen, for example, I think definitely didn't die on his expedition. But again, I could be wrong about that. I need to read up on this stuff. Not my area of expertise, but yeah, I think I'll say Shackleton, and hopefully that's the right idea. And then I don't know why 4 is already selected. What did I click that? I don't know. I think I'll enhance 2. I think this is not that easy. If you don't know who Lama Linche is, you definitely could have other guesses for that. Selassie feels knowable, probably, and could also just be wrong. Again, surely it's Moctezuma, right? It's not going to be something else. I feel confident enough that it has to be him. I don't know who else it would be. And the rest of these just feel a little easier to me, other than maybe number 6. But again, I'm not sure which explorer it is, so I'm not going to enhance that one either. So yeah, we'll find out, I guess. There are cars in that one, but are they too far away? There's cars in that one too. Guarantee this is wrong. Knew it. Okay, this one's a little bit easier though. Oh, cool. We have to do another one. Fantastic. Does that count as a traffic light? I don't know. I'm going to go with no. Cool. Haile Selassie is correct. Good. Moctezuma II. Very nice. Challenger, Hannibal, Salem Witch Trials, and it's Scott, for God's sake. So it was another one of the Antarctic guys. Again, I never know which is which. I need to just actually read up on what each of them did rather than just like throwing out a name. But I just had to throw out a name. If anybody answers Moctezuma Shokoyotsin, they are the GOAT. But yeah, 5 out of 6 on that. Totally fine. I think it's still good knowledge on most of this stuff. It's just I failed on the exploration category. Quiz number 6 is arts and literature. The title of the novel Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie refers to the flag of what short-lived African breakaway republic in which much of the novel is set. She is Nigerian. Breakaway republic in Nigeria that is short-lived should be the Republic of Biafra. I don't know what else it would be. If it is not Biafra, then tough. Number 2, what Nobel Prize-winning Japanese-born British novelist wrote the 2021 book Clara and the Sun, which tells the story of Clara, a solar-powered artificial friend who is the companion of the sickly child Josie. His novel Remains of the Day won the Booker Prize in 1989. Also the author of Never Let Me Go. This is Kazuo Ishiguro. Number 3, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress and Starship Troopers were both written by what science fiction author? I do not know. There's not a lot of clues in here. You kind of just have to know the names of the books or not, and I do not know them because I don't read sci-fi and I'm not very familiar with sci-fi authors. My first thought was Douglas Adams, so I'm just going to go with that. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress sounds like sort of a strange, almost goofy title, but I might be completely off base. I don't know. Number 4, I wandered, redacted, that floats on high or vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, is the first stanza of a poem, which has had part of its first line removed. What are the 4 missing words of that first line? I wandered, lonely as a cloud. This is Daffodils by William Wordsworth, also known as I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. But yeah, it's just a famous Wordsworth poem. Number 5, what painting features an unrealistically crescent moon and 11 stars is seen from an asylum in Saint-Rémy de Provence? This is, of course, The Starry Nights by Van Gogh. And finally, number 6, there are more things in heaven and earth, redacted, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Provide the name of either the play, which has the same name as the speaker of the quote, or the person being spoken to who is redacted in the quote. I don't know what's going on here. It sounds vaguely Shakespearean to me, and I feel like name a play is Shakespeare is usually a pretty safe guess for something like that when you don't know what's going on. But it's not, I mean, it's not Othello, as far as I know. I feel like I would know it if I would have heard of it. It's not Macbeth. My thought is maybe King Lear. He could be talking to Cordelia or somebody else in King Lear. And King Lear is probably the major Shakespeare tragedy that I know the least about. I have never seen it. I don't really know the plot of it at all. So I think it's a reasonable thing, but it could be anything else. It could be another Shakespeare play or another play that is not Shakespeare, because there are a lot of plays out there that are named after people. So we're just gonna give it a go. And then I don't know what to enhance. I feel like either Biafra or Lonely as a Cloud is good. I think those are both hard. So you can't really go wrong. I feel like Lonely as a Cloud is pretty tough though. Like you have to know the exact words of the poem. I think that's very not trivial. Biafra feels a little more geography coded, so I'm gonna go with 4. And hope that that is the right choice. Biafra, Ishiguro, Heinlein. Man, I've heard of that guy, but there's no chance I'm pulling that. Lonely as a Cloud, Starry Night, and it's Hamlet. Yeah, I mean, there you go. It was Shakespeare, and it was the wrong tragedy. That was kind of what I was worried was going to happen. I have seen Hamlet once before, but to be fair, I don't know it very well. I don't know the lines from it, so kind of makes sense that I didn't recognize it. I thought Lear was a fine guess, but I really just didn't know that quote. So that is quite unfortunate. And then Robert Heinlein again, heard the name, no shot. 4 out of 6, not great for me, honestly, as far as arts and lit goes. I usually do pretty well with this category, but yeah, could have been worse. And we head to quiz 7. Heraclitus was an ancient Greek philosopher known for his theory of flux. Perhaps his most famous quote, as related by Plutarch, says that it is not possible to step into the same blank twice. What word fills in the blank? I don't know. I've never heard this, or maybe I have and forgot it, but I'll say house for no particular reason. I feel like there's a lot of things that you could step into, so I'm just going to guess one. Number 2, among the major schools of philosophy was which, that derives from the Greek word for dog, but today usually means someone who distrusts the motives of others. The school was founded by Antisthenes and included among its practitioners Diogenes of Sinope, who lived in a ceramic jar. Diogenes, the absolute goat, was a cynic. So cynicism is the school of philosophy. If you don't know about Diogenes, do yourself a favor by reading up on him. He is a fascinating figure. Number 3, the work called Analects is a series of sayings attributed to what philosopher who lived around during the spring and autumn period. Some sayings describe how to cultivate virtue via ren, through upright behavior, such as filial piety. These are all just buzzwords for Confucius. Ren, filial piety, analects, those are just Confucius things. Number 4, the floating man was a thought experiment that claimed to show that the soul is a substance. It was proposed by what Islamic philosopher of the Samanid Empire in Central Asia, who also wrote the Book of Healing. So Islamic philosophers, I can't name that many. The ones that came to mind were Avicenna and Averroes. And then Maimonides, although I think he's Jewish rather, so I don't think it's Maimonides. I want to say Avicenna. I feel like I might be wrong, but I feel like Averroes is like Spanish or Portuguese or something, like Iberian. Whereas I'm honestly not sure where Avicenna is from, but I think he could be from Central Asia, or it seems more likely to me. Again, I don't have a very good memory for who these guys are or what they did. So I may be grossly misremembering, or it may just be somebody else, because there are definitely other Islamic philosophers that I can't remember the names of. But Avicenna is definitely a guy, and I'm pretty sure he's an Islamic philosopher. So I feel decent about this guess at the very least. Number 5, Theodicy, an attempt to resolve the problem of evil, was described in a 1710 book titled Essai de Théodicée. What German philosopher-mathematician wrote this book? He's perhaps better known for his contributions to modern calculus. Philosopher, mathematician, calculus should be Gottfried Leibniz. Again, definitely these days at least more well known for co-developing calculus alongside Isaac Newton, but like independently. But yeah, should be Leibniz. And then finally, number 6, what French woman did not consider herself a philosopher, even though her 1949 work, The Second Sex, is currently viewed as a major contribution to modern feminist philosophy? This is Simone de Beauvoir. Yeah, she is the one who wrote The Second Sex. Enhancing wise, I don't know. I think I'll enhance cynicism. I feel like it's not that easy. Like knowing what the school is called and knowing the Greek word for dog isn't particularly easy either. So I think that's a decent one to go for. I don't feel good enough about Avicenna to go for that. Confucius and Leibniz are a little too easy, and I think Simone de Beauvoir is also probably easier than cynicism, but could be wrong about that. So let's go with it. And for the final time, we shall see. River. What is it? Stepping into the same river twice? Was that what the quote was? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but I guess I know it now. Cynics is right. Cynicism is going to be acceptable, I'm sure. Confucius. Holy crap. Okay, yes, it is Avicenna. Did you really have to? Okay. Jesus. Shout out Abu Ali al-Husayn bin al-Hassan bin Ali bin Sina al-Balkhi al-Bukhari. I mean, yeah, sure. Apparently that's his name. Cool. But Leibniz and Beauvoir were correct as well. So honestly, 5 out of 6 is fine. I'm decent with philosophy, not because I know anything about philosophy, but because I did Quiz Bowl for a long time and I just know a lot of the buzzwords and like who wrote what sort of stuff, which got me through most of this. But yeah, if you ask me anything substantial about the philosophies of any of these people, I'm not going to be able to do much with it. But yeah, 5 out of 6 works for me. And that does it for the quizzes in week number 5. This is the last week of the regular season, but there will be a championship after this. I guess I'll talk about that in a second once my scores are actually in, and we will see how the season standings shook out. All right, so the scores are in for week number 5. I finished in 6th place on the week, which ties my worst so far this season in terms of placement, but honestly still feel like I played okay. A couple of questions I should have had and didn't get, but that's usually the case, really. So honestly, pretty consistent performances. I mean, the fact that I didn't finish lower than 6th in any of these weeks is totally fine by me. Pretty happy in the end with how this went. And yeah, the season standings, I guess big reveal. Am I covering them? No, I'm not. Look like this. So I finished in 2nd place behind Can Opener and Can. So congrats to Can Opener and Can on winning season number 12, at least the regular season of the LDQL, and congrats to Tezzy for rounding out the top 3. And a massive thanks to all 66 players who played at least 1 week this season. And yeah, very much looking forward to the Season 12 Championship, which will be out pretty soon. Well, hopefully. I actually don't know about that. I mean, although realistically, this video is probably going to go out much later than it should in the first place. So hopefully the championship will actually be out somewhat soon after this video is released. But thank you for sticking with it through the season. Once again, thanks so much to everyone who contributed to the LDQL, especially Saluna for organizing all of this, but of course everyone who contributed a quiz and otherwise helped. So yeah, Tezzy, Jambo, Rasmus, Physics, Benny, Legend, and is that everybody? Yertle as well. And yeah, thanks to all of you for playing and making the league possible. I hope you guys enjoyed another season's worth of questions, and I'm so glad that the LDQL is still up and running. So yeah, I'm excited to play the championship. We'll see if I can actually properly win LDQL, but I don't know. It's not going to be easy. It never is. So thank you for watching another season, and I will see you soon for the championship. Hope you enjoyed, and later.